All right, so hopefully this works. Really hope people watch this video. This is going to be important. This is a great video from a guy called Abe's Trade. He says, I tried trading and it ruined my life. He's going to talk about his story in trading. Now, I am definitely not against trading if you do it the right way and if you do it like a business. But we need to look at what happened here, or I want to react to what happened here, and I hope that you enjoy it. Because I am somebody who has dealt with addiction in my life, and not with gambling, so to speak. But I could have a gambling addiction, because addiction manifests in all types of different forms, whether it's drugs, alcohol, gambling. Any type of sin can turn into an addiction. Okay. So we're gonna listen to this, and I'm gonna make some comments along the way. So hopefully you enjoy. Let's go.
Alright, so as you saw in the last clip, that was me mentally breaking down. So in this video, I'm gonna give you one thing that I learned over 3 years of unprofitable trading that you must know to succeed. I also share you my story, how I ended up in this situation, and also show you the video where I'm mentally breaking down so I could really drive the point home. So I want to start off by saying that if you're going to trade and if you want to pursue this, you have to do one thing, and that one thing that I didn't do for 3 years caused me so much pain, and that is to have rules. You need to follow rules no matter what. Follow them no matter what. And the reason for that is not to make money. The rules are not there to make money. The rules are there to protect you from doing self-harm to yourself, mentally and financially.
All right, so Warren Buffett said the three rules of trading: don't lose money, don't lose money, don't lose money. So he's right about having rules, and the rules are there to protect you. So that's absolutely true. And remember guys, crypto platforms are a form of crypto trading. So this has precedence on what we do as well. You have to have some rules for yourself. Risk and reward, know when to get in, know when to get out, have a plan, right? Don't just go in with no plan.
Because you got to understand, trading is gambling. You're risking money to potentially make money. You're taking on...
All right, so what he said right there, this is going to show you what's happening with this guy. In his mindset, trading is gambling, right? Now, trading is not gambling, right? Not if you do it the correct way, right? Trading is, following your strategy, and you do it like a business, right? And the way that he's talking about it, some people do trade in a gambling fashion, and that is toxic. That's not the way to do it. Just like crypto trading should not be gambling either, right? We should have a strategy. We should have a set rules, regulations for ourselves, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, right? So this is very important that he said this, because this is going to be a theme throughout this guy's video.
Risk every single day, but trading is not like any other gambling endeavor. Trading there's freedom to get in when you want, get out when you want. No one's forcing you to stay in trades, right? You can trade whenever you want. It's not like where in blackjack you get dealt a hand, or poker you get dealt a hand and be like, okay, you get dealt a bad hand, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I don't want to play because I got dealt a bad hand. Well, in trading, you can do that. If you see you get into a trade and somehow you don't feel like it's a good trade, you can get out. No one's forcing you to stay in. It's also not like slots where you put in money and then you pull the lever, and the max you could lose the amount of money you put in. In trading, you could lose your whole account on one trade, right? It's the freedom. It's in the space of that freedom in trading that gives you the biggest advantage, but also the greatest disadvantage, right? If you don't have any discipline, if you don't have the rules, you could really mess yourself up. And
so what he's talking about is trading without stop loss. right? Meaning if you don't have a stop loss for yourself, yes, you can make more money because you can wait out the dip, and then when it comes back up, you make a lot. But what if it doesn't come back up? What if it continues to dip down and blows your account? So that's why having a stop loss and a take profit is so important.
Says trading is gambling, and if you don't control yourself, it can turn into an addiction, right? It's only 1 degree away from turning into a gambling addiction, because that's what happened to me. And so, like I said, the rules.
All right, so at least he's aware. He's aware that he is dealing with a gambling addiction. Let's continue to watch.
You need to follow them, and they could be simple. They could be like, okay, I only take 3 to 5 trades a day, or I can only lose this amount of money in this day. And the rules should be based on extending your time in the market. That's what the rules should be based on, is having you stay in the market long enough so that you can create a profitable strategy and then work from there. A lot of people say, oh, start with the strategy first, start with the strategy. Let me tell you this. If you don't have rules and you just dollar astrology, you're not going to last long, right? And plus, the market's always changing. Strategies are always changing. Strategies, the market, you always need to adapt your strategy. That always fluctuates, right? It's always going to fluctuate. Sometimes one thing works in one condition, next thing you know, it won't work in the other condition. It always fluctuates. The thing that's always static and should be static are your rules. So if you're a beginner...
All right, so what I'll say on that is that the rules are part of the strategy. Okay, if your strategy doesn't have rules, you're missing really like 85% of your strategy. Maybe more, maybe it's 90% rules. But the rules are definitely part of the overall strategy.
Trader, please follow your rules, because you're going to end up like me. And when I started trading, I got fully blown addicted to trading. And at first, it was just half my paycheck, you know. I could still pay my bills, and I would lose the paycheck, half my paycheck, in the stock market, and then, still struggle. I would struggle to eat and buy food and gas, but I would still make it through the month. So in the beginning of this year, I was not in debt. I was free, had no debt at all. And so it went from at first risking half my paycheck, and then it went beyond to spending my whole paycheck. So now I'm falling behind on bills, and I'm spending my whole paycheck, losing it in the stock market. And at that point, it felt like that was rock bottom for me. Losing my paycheck felt like rock bottom. Eventually, that became normalized. I would just do Uber on the weekends to pay my bills that I was falling behind. And it just became normal at that point to just lose a whole paycheck and just...
What he's talking about is downward spiral into addiction. He's talking about the addiction trap. He's talking about, people do go through the same thing that he's going through with crack cocaine. He happened to have a day trade gambling addiction. It's the same thing. You end up losing your money, you lose your paycheck, you start to borrow from friends and family, sometimes you steal. Addiction is addiction, right? Whether you're addicted to gambling or drugs or drinking or any type of unhealthy behavior. Let's continue.
Be okay with it. And so when that became normal, it got even worse. It went to, now I was taking out loans. I was getting in debt to fund myself in the stock market. And I'm taking out risky loans. I'm talking 80 plus interest rate. I was sometimes taking out a loan. I remember taking out a loan that was 400% interest rate, So I think I was paying like almost half of it within a week, and just interest alone. Yeah, I was taking out loans. And then it got even worse. I was calling friends and family for money. So it got even worse, and I was calling friends and family for money. I started selling some of my stuff to pay for my debts and my bills. Long story short. Long story short, I went from having no debt to now owing being $14,000 in debt. Keep in mind, I work a minimum wage in California, so that's basically almost half my yearly salary right there. $14,000. You know, I think I only make like $30,000 a year, and so that's my current situation now. And it wasn't until this most recent month that it really, really hit me hard. And I mean, hit me really hard. I was really down bad. I actually was in the same situation 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, I had enough money in my account to cover all my debt. And in that day, I lost it all. And I was so much emotional pain.
Guys, this is the cycle of addiction. He is explaining the cycle, right? He's on top, he loses it all. He gets it back, loses it all again. Gets it back, loses it all again, right? He has to break the cycle. And anybody who's struggling with what he's going through has to break the cycle. But I'll give more on that at the end. Please watch to the whole end of the video because, man, this video is just a next level testimony from this guy, and it's really important for everybody to understand. At least I think it is. So let's continue.
I was calling mental health institutes, you know, friends and family, anyone I could call to relieve myself from the pain. I don't know if I told you this, but I also masturbate. I would masturbate every time I lose, or when I felt tense in the stock market to kind of, you know, really kind of relax myself. But obviously that habit got carried over, and I would just, at that point, I was just masturbating every time I lost. And sometimes when I blew an account, I was masturbating like 20, 30 times a day, which I'm not proud of, but I had to, you know, I didn't want to feel that pain. I didn't want to sit.
Well, that can become another addiction in and of itself, what he was talking about right there. And what he's doing is he's messing with his dopamine levels in his brain. Right? And the same thing's happening to him when he wins a trade. It's the same feeling you get when you're having, you know, when you're doing that, right? Let's continue.
With reality, because it was really painful to know I could have covered all my debt and I lost it all. So I remember 2 weeks ago, I was in max pain. I think I masturbated like 20 times a day. I was calling friends and family, you know, trying to seek some sort of, you know, peace in my mind, because I was so in emotional pain. And it got to the point where I was really desperate and I was really going through it. That I don't want to say that I'm not super religious, but I was crying in tears. I'm asking God to give me one more shot, give me one more try in the stock market. Let me show you that I'm patient and that I could, you know, really go with this and not gamble. Funny enough, the day after, I got in the market again, I got a loan, and I made money. I was making money, I made money again, and I make money. The next day I'm making money, and
where is he getting these loans? Right? I mean, how is this guy getting all these loans?
It got to the point where, you know, God actually gave me a second chance. He blessed me. And I had enough money to cover all my debt again. And yesterday I lost it all. You know. So it was almost like I spit in God's face. He gave me a chance. He blessed me. And I lost it all yesterday. Same scenario. I was calling up people, friends, family, anyone. I was in tears, crying, you know, I felt like I didn't deserve another chance. You know, I'm not going to cry to God again and ask for another chance. I felt like I didn't deserve a chance, right? Because, you know, I asked for him and I spit in his face. I feel like everything that's ever good that's happened to me has been God's fault, and everything that's bad that has happened has been my fault. And so that's why I'm making this video. Maybe my third chance is God's giving me a third chance, and that chance not making money, maybe helping you avoid the pain that I went through, And hopefully you learned something from this video that could help you avoid all this and prevent you from going into this dark path that I went through these last 3 years. So hopefully you learned something. I'm going to show you the video where I break down mentally. I was kind of hesitant to show you this video because I don't like to portray myself like this, especially in a moment where I'm at my worst. But I feel like it will really drive the point home and you take what I say seriously, because this could happen to you.
Man, shout out to this guy for his honesty and vulnerability in doing this. So really shout out to him for doing that. Also, when you're struggling with these types of addictions, the only thing that I've seen that works is the spiritual solution, which is presented in the 12 steps or just in, having a spiritual experience with God. It's a spiritual addiction is a spiritual sickness. And who is the one that heals spiritual sickness?
So let's watch this video. Not proud of it, but hopefully you learned something. I lost all my money today in the stock market, everything. I took out loans, I lost that. I'm already in debt to begin with. I'm currently $10,000 in debt. I took out more loans, now I'm currently $14,000 in debt. But the most hardest part of this is telling people, making promises to people, and then losing all that money that was supposed to fulfill those promises. I mean, look at this. This is my mom. It's me. She gives me money all the time. I'm 25, went to college, didn't get a job, kind of just 4 years just went by. My mom supported me, gave me money, thinking that I was gonna get a job. I'm now 25, working on a minimum wage job. I don't even know. I just think about my future and it just looks so dark. There's nothing much to it. I mean, I exhausted all my resources already. I don't know where to go from here. I really don't. It just feels like I want to die. I'm not suicidal, but I feel like dying. Everyone I know I've let down. Yeah. Just accept my fate. Accept that I won't be rich. Accept that I might just be 30 and still living with my mom. Accept that I probably won't ever make her proud. Oh my God. Where did I go wrong, guys? I don't know. My whole life I've been trying to make money. Been trying to do drop shipping. Learn stocks. Social media agency, you name it. I've done it. And it all ended up with me being broker, unfulfilled. I hope this is a warning to anyone who's addicted to stock trading. Or maybe you're on the edge. I will say that just be careful. Be careful.
All right, so let me go back to the video. Okay, day trading is not a scam. All right, just some that the YouTube algorithm is giving me a bunch of stupid videos here. So, well, he says, "Where did I go wrong?" Well, I mean, he's got an addiction, right? And that's what he's dealing with. That's what he's dealing with. But I mean, he didn't go wrong anywhere. He lives in a system that is rigged against him, right? And then he says, I'll never become rich. Well, that all depends on how you look at it. I mean, you live in California in the United States of America. You are one of the richest people in the world already, right? Just from where you live. And maybe I'll live with my mom till I'm 30. So what? Right? I would live with my mom right now if I could. Problem is, my stepdad doesn't want me to live over there. So, and I've got money, right? Nothing wrong with living with mom. Nothing wrong with family. Man, what a heart-wrenching video, though, to watch. And, what this is, guys, is this guy descended into addiction. And what I would do he says he doesn't know where to go, what to do. What I would do in his shoes is I would go to a 12-step gambling 12-step program. I mean, that's where I would start. You go through the steps, admit to God that you're powerless over gambling. Your life has become unmanageable, which it clearly has. Come to believe that a power greater than yourself can restore you to sanity. Made a decision to turn your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand Him. Do a searching and fearless moral inventory, so on and so forth, guys. I mean, I don't think I've memorized all 12 of them. I should have by now, because I deal with addiction myself, and so I know the 12 steps. I practice the 12 steps. Admit to God and another human being the exact nature of your wrongs. Become entirely ready to have God remove your character defects. I mean, the list goes on. And that's what needs to happen. And in this guy's case, I would suggest taking a break from trading, because if you're trading like gambling, you're not doing it the right way, right? Trading is supposed to be done like a business. And what do you do when you have a business? You have a business plan. Okay, now I go way, way, way more in depth than all of that on my Morpheus Crypto Trader channel. I just thought that this was such a great story that it would be a cool video to do here at the Unlimited Freedom Network for you guys viewing and listening pleasure. But if you want to know my trading strategy, you can get that in the description. Also, you get a 50% bonus when you join Pocket Option. I teach binary options trading, and I teach the way that I teach it is a way that it actually protects you from losing your account, right? And that's what this anybody should have in place when they're doing trading as a business and not as gambling. Okay, so is trading gambling? It can be, right? But it isn't in and of itself, right? It just depends on the person who's doing it and what kind of approach you're taking to it. So, very powerful video. My message to him would be: you're 25 years old. Your life hasn't even begun yet, right? It probably doesn't feel like that right now. It feels like everything's over. I mean, look, man. I'm twice your age. I've lost way more than 14 grand in my life, multiple times, lost everything. I've been shot. I survived a shooting. I've been to prison. I survived prison. And now I'm at a high point in life, right? Life has peaks and valleys, mountaintops and valleys. And, right now I'm on the mountaintop, but something will happen in life and there will be other valleys. There's going to be other things that I'm going to have to go through. Right? It's all about not getting too high with the highs and not getting too low with the lows. But I've been in a 12-step program for 8 years, and it's probably the number one reason why I'm alive right now and why I'm doing as good as I am. Right? So I mean, I would highly recommend getting into that, taking a break on the trading. You can come back to it if you can do it the right way. But for right now, you're in a vicious cycle. Right? Is what I would say on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hopefully you guys did take the time to watch this video. I never know when I do different kind of videos like these if people are going to watch or not, but hopefully you do, and we'll see you guys on the next one here at the Unlimited Freedom Network.